All right. Everyone has just finished, or we're actually still in their season of demonic celebration. Well, you just got through celebrating something that we call Christmas, but was it really Christmas? No, it was actually the Saturnalia. Um, what I'm going to do is discuss exactly what is it and what you did, or at least give you a little insight of what you people have been doing. Now, this is reminiscent of parades that they tend to have on Christmas Day, right after on Thanksgiving parade, and then most cities have a lot of cities have Christmas Day parades also. Not to mention the coming um, parades at the end of the New Year's Eve parade or New Year's Day parade.
To your Christmas and our Saturnalia, for the thing that you do within your ritual that we Romans did not do 2,000 years before you. We give gifts. We wear unconventional clothing. And I can see plenty of that tonight, especially that hat, sir. We allow our slaves a day off. We give gifts of light and silver, and we share our food. Most importantly at this, the darkest time, the darkest of nights, we make offerings to Saturn, that our crops may grow again, that the light may continue, and the sun should return to his glory of summer days. When I shout, "Yo, Saturnalia!" I expect you barbarians to remember your roots and shout it back at me. But if it's really good, we will share the light with the young people here. Yo, Saturnalia! Yo, Saturnalia! They were brilliant, you were rubbish. Gladius! Good job. You're on your own, sir. Spare hands. Right, let's try that again. Nobody can try it again. Yo, Saturnalia! Yo, Saturnalia! Yo, Saturnalia! Yo, Saturnalia! Yo, Saturnalia! Well done!
What he was saying was "Yo, Saturnalia." It was a customary greeting for the occasion, and "Yo" is I-O, which is pronounced Y-O, yo, and it basically means "Ho, praise to Saturn." Okay, now who y'all celebrating with that big old tree? You're celebrating the Roman god Saturn. Okay, which also goes back way back to Nimrod. Goes back past Ra in Egypt, all the way back to Nimrod. Okay, the Romans first introduced the holiday of Saturnalia, which is a week-long period of lawlessness, celebrated between the 17th and the 25th. During this period, peace was to prevail, dispensing of punishments suspended and courts closed. Wars ceased. Also, the schools closed and many businesses and government offices also closed. Sounds very, very familiar, does it not? So, did you celebrate the Saturnalia or did you celebrate Christmas? Well, first of all, Christmas being the so-called uh, fake birthday of Jesus didn't even come into vogue until around 336 AD. And everyone knows there's no way he was born in the wintertime. Didn't work. Now, another holiday also associated with this time is the Feast of Bacchus, or the Bacchanalia, which is the god of wine, is also associated with this festival. Now, we had mentioned that they give gifts. Well, yeah, just like everyone, it says, oh, well, the gift giving represents the three wise men giving gifts to Jesus. I'm like, y'all are a bunch of idiots. I always thought that was stupid, even growing up. But the festival, but the gift giving day, that is the last day of the Saturnalia. Okay, that's on the 25th, approximately 23rd to the 25th. Um, it was a festival. It was actually called the Sigillaria, or terracotta seals. Was the last day of the Saturnalias, and Romans used to give gifts like fruits and nuts, wax candles. Children would get dolls made of rings or um, of dough. And this was specifically mainly gifts to children or to family members. The day was also the best time to for great feasts in your specially adorned houses, festooned with lots of greenery like holly. Okay. Now, a joyous recreation of this era of peace, economic, because look what everyone does during this time of the year. They go out and they buy all these decorations for their homes. People put on these fake, ridiculous smiles, and then they go around and acting like dumbasses for a month. Then a few days after Christmas ends, all of a sudden everyone is back to normal. Which is why they sing on New Year's Eve "Shadal Acquaintance," and I'm gonna get into that too, probably in another video, a video, because I have to talk about Janus, or Janus actually, or Janus. Now, the Saturnalia festivities began with ritual and sacrifices in the temple of Saturn. Okay, the statue of the god was hollow and refilled with fresh olive oil as a symbol of his agricultural functions. The woolen bonds, which fettered his feet of the ivory cult statue, within were were loosened, I should say, and that would symbolize the liberation of the god. There was usually a public banquet, um, also in associated this. And I stated earlier, a customary meeting or greeting would be Yo Saturnalia. Okay? Makes you wonder about people saying yo. Okay? So when everyone's going to tell me, oh, we're doing tradition. Well, tradition also includes a little sprig called the mistletoe. Well, of course, you got the holly across the fire, and the holly was a sacred plant of Saturn. And Roman used holly not only for decoration, but also as a lucky token. They would exchange sprigs and decorate gifts with it. As a mark of undying friendship and good fortune for the year to come. And holly, of course, stayed green throughout the winter. Nowhere in scripture are we supposed to do this. Now, here's a phrase I do like by the Lucian Saturnalia or Saturnalia Lucian, which is during my week, the serious is barred, no business allowed, drinking, noise, and games and dice, appointing of kings, hence the Christmas, the Saturnalia fool, they would call it, or what we now call Santa Claus. He was a sacrifice. And feast of slaves, feasting of slaves, singing naked, clapping of frenzied hands, and occasional ducking of corked faces in icy water, hence the polar plunge. All they're doing is repeating this. Such are the functions over which I preside. This is the poem concerning the Saturnalia. So Lucian Saturnalia is basically Luciferian. Y'all better pay attention to what you're doing. Okay. Also, during this time was, as I stated before, is the most wicked time ever. People would do some wicked things. Now, here's an interesting thing called the mistletoe. Here it is in its natural form before it's cut down. And here it is afterwards. Of course, homes will be decorated with wreaths and garlands of greenery, and they will put mistletoe up in the house. They would also put the tree up in their house. And another thing I want to talk about the tree. A lot of people like to forget that German was part of the ancient Roman and Greek empires. If you go back and look at the ancient maps, you see a big outline of Germany over it. Okay, they say, well, Christmas tree came from the Germans. Not really. They came from the ancients, from the Romans, from the Greeks. It's very old. But getting back to the mistletoe. Everyone thinks it's such a sweet custom. You know, you see someone standing and you give them a kiss on the cheek. But it is the most wicked form of celebration. Because the thing about it is, if you caught somebody under the mistletoe, you were allowed to have your way with them. When I say have your way, whether it be a dog, a child, man, or woman, you are to have sex with them under the mistletoe. Hence, on the Saturnalia was also associated with the word orgy or orgia or secret worship. Okay. Since most secret worships involved sexual rituals, and Christian, well, I ain't gonna say about the Christians were opposed because they didn't. We were opposed to it. I'll say that. Not so innocent. You were supposed to kiss whoever stood under the mistletoe. Whoever. Whoever. And they could not resist you. They could not resist you. The Saturnalia. Was it such an innocent custom? No. And you still celebrate it. And if anybody tells you wicked behind black folks, Hispanics, and Native Americans not to do it, you want to be like these heathens and do it any damn way. I do not say Merry Christmas. Your God, Saturn.